In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on November 11, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Cleveland Cavaliers versus Chicago Bulls. The Central Division rivalry heats up as the Cleveland Cavaliers and Chicago Bulls face off on Monday night in Chicago. Both teams are division rivals, adding an extra layer of intensity to their meeting. The Cavaliers head into this matchup on the road, fresh off a 105-100 comeback victory over the Brooklyn Nets on Saturday night. Although Cleveland emerged victorious, they narrowly missed covering the spread as 12.5-point favorites. On the other hand, the Bulls come into this contest following a solid 125-113 win over the Atlanta Hawks on the road on Saturday, in which they defied the odds and won outright as 2.5-point underdogs. In terms of historical matchups, the Bulls lead the all-time regular season series 133-101, including their most recent win, a thrilling 132-123 double overtime home victory on February 28, 2024, which ended Cleveland's 7-game winning streak against Chicago. As both teams prepare for this showdown, notable absences could impact their lineups. The Cavaliers are still without Max Strus, while the Bulls remain without Lonzo Ball, both of whom have been sidelined due to injuries. Cleveland's strong start to the season has made them a target, with every opponent pushing to be the first to deliver them a loss. This matchup presents a contrast between Cleveland's highly efficient offense and Chicago's struggling defense. The Cavaliers currently boast the league's best offensive efficiency, scoring an impressive 120.5 points per 100 possessions. Conversely, the Bulls' defense ranks only 19th in the league, allowing 112 points per 100 possessions. Recent form doesn't favor Chicago either, as they've gone just 1-4 straight up in their last 5 games, with an average loss margin of -8 points per game. While Chicago managed to get back on track with their recent win over Atlanta, facing Cleveland will likely be a tougher test. Both teams are dealing with a demanding schedule, with each playing their 4th game in the last 6 days, and Cleveland facing its 3rd game in just 4 nights. Fatigue was a factor for both squads on Saturday, although they each rallied late to secure wins. Cleveland remains unbeaten this season and has shown that they possess a deep offensive arsenal. The Cavaliers have consistently scored at a high rate, whereas the Bulls have struggled to keep opponents from scoring heavily. With Cleveland's form and offensive depth, they are well positioned to continue their winning ways against a Bulls team that has had trouble keeping points off the scoreboard. The Cavaliers have been a dominant force this season, showing their resilience and skill with a comeback win over Brooklyn on Saturday despite an overall subpar performance. Chicago, meanwhile, has shown improvement with the return of Zach LaVine, though the betting line currently doesn't offer substantial points in Chicago's favor. Given their form and the spread in their favor, the Cleveland Cavaliers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Cleveland has been a strong choice for overs this season, hitting the over in 7 of their 11 games leading into Monday night. The Cavaliers are relatively careful with the ball, ranking 9th in the league by averaging only 13.5 turnovers per game, and they play at a moderate pace with 100.3 possessions per game, ranking 10th in tempo. Chicago, on the other hand, has hit the over 6 times in their 10 games this season. They've struggled with turnovers, ranking 23rd in the league at 16 per game, yet they maintain a high tempo, averaging 104.3 possessions per game, the 2nd highest in the league. The Bulls currently play at the 2nd fastest pace in the league, with 106.6 possessions per game, while the Cavaliers, at 11th in pace with 102.5 possessions per game, are not far behind. With Cleveland's highly efficient offense, it wouldn't be surprising to see them score upwards of 130 points, especially considering Chicago's defensive vulnerabilities. In their last 5 games, the Bulls have allowed point totals of 113, 120, 135, 119, and 135, highlighting a defensive struggle that could lead to a high-scoring game. While both teams may be fatigued, Chicago's porous defense should still contribute to pushing the score over the projected total, making over the projected total our full game total pick. Brooklyn Nets versus New Orleans Pelicans. The Brooklyn Nets will be traveling to New Orleans to face the Pelicans in a cross-conference matchup on Monday, November 11th. The Nets enter this contest with a 4-6 record for the season, but they've struggled recently, dropping 3 of their last 4 games. However, their challenging schedule has likely contributed to their recent skid as they've faced tough opponents, including back-to-back games against Eastern Conference powerhouses, the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Meanwhile, the Pelicans are also struggling, holding a 3-7 record and currently on a 4-game losing streak. Injuries continue to plague the team, making it difficult for them to gain any momentum. Both teams are dealing with key absences. The Nets are missing Bojan Bogdanovic and Trendon Watford, both important pieces to their lineup. The Pelicans, however, are more heavily affected by injuries, as they will be without several of their top players, including C.J. McCollum, Zion Williamson, DeJounte Murray, and Herbert Jones. Statistically, Brooklyn holds an edge over New Orleans in both offensive and defensive ratings. The Nets have also been impressive against the spread, boasting an 8-2 record, while the Pelicans have struggled to cover, holding a dismal 2-8 record against the spread. One area where the Nets have a significant advantage is in their efficiency at the rim. Brooklyn ranks as the 12th most efficient team in scoring at close range, while the Pelicans allow more shots within 5 feet of the basket than any other team. This mismatch suggests that the Nets should find scoring opportunities near the basket without much difficulty. On the defensive end, Brooklyn's weaker interior defense might not be heavily tested, as the Pelicans rank 29th in the league in rim shooting percentage. Additionally, the Nets are expected to have the upper hand in the turnover battle, further tipping the scales in their favor. Brooklyn has recently faced tough opponents, competing against both the Celtics and Cavaliers on back-to-back nights. They performed admirably in these contests, even coming close to defeating Cleveland. With the dynamic scoring ability of their guard rotation, particularly with Cam Thomas emerging as one of the Eastern Conference's top scorers, the Nets' offensive firepower will likely pose a significant challenge for the undermanned Pelicans. Given New Orleans' injury struggles, it will be difficult for them to mount a strong response if Brooklyn takes an early lead. While Brandon Ingram will likely do his best to keep the Pelicans in the game, he may not have enough support to change the outcome. Despite the Nets coming off 2 consecutive losses, those defeats came against elite competition, and Brooklyn was surprisingly competitive in both games. In contrast, the Pelicans have been in a downward spiral, missing most of their top players and recently suffering a heavy defeat at the hands of an undermanned Orlando Magic team. Overall, the Nets are in better form heading into this matchup, and the expectation is that they'll be able to secure a win on the road. As such, the Nets are favored to both win and cover the spread in this matchup. In terms of pace, New Orleans ranks 18th in the league, while the Nets play even slower, ranking 26th. The total projected points have been kept low due to the slow pace of both teams, yet neither team has excelled defensively this season. This sets the stage for easy scoring opportunities, suggesting that both teams will likely score efficiently. Notably, New Orleans games at home have gone over the total in 4 out of 5 matchups this season. Given these factors, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Oklahoma City Thunder versus Los Angeles Clippers. The Los Angeles Clippers are set to face off against the Oklahoma City Thunder on Monday night in Oklahoma, marking a notable Western Conference showdown. Coming into this game, the Clippers hold a season record of 6-4 and are riding the momentum of a 4-game winning streak, showing steady improvement in their gameplay. The Thunder, meanwhile, have an impressive 8-1 record, positioning them at the top of the Western Conference standings as of Sunday. They are scheduled to play the Golden State Warriors on Sunday night before taking on the Clippers, which could impact their energy levels going into Monday's game. With Oklahoma City facing the challenge of a back-to-back set, fatigue may become a factor, especially after what promises to be an intense matchup against the high-powered offense of the Warriors. This situation could work to the Clippers' advantage, as they favor a slower, more methodical style of play that might be difficult for a tired Thunder squad to counter effectively. Adding to the potential challenges for Oklahoma City, they are likely to be without key players Jalen Williams and Hardenstein. The Clippers, who last played on Friday night, should enter the game refreshed and ready to capitalize on any weaknesses. For Los Angeles, maintaining a controlled tempo and making careful shot selections will be critical to securing a win. If the Thunder show signs of wear, the Clippers may find it easier to control the pace and take high-percentage shots. Though the Thunder often receive the benefit of the doubt, especially when playing on their home court, the challenges of a back-to-back schedule could tilt the odds. Furthermore, there's uncertainty surrounding Chet Holmgren's availability after he sustained a hip injury, which could significantly impact the Thunder's lineup if he's unable to play. In contrast, the Clippers enter the game well-rested, having shown resilience despite dealing with their own injuries, and they hold a strong 3-0 straight-up record on the road so far this season. Given the Clippers' rest advantage and the possibility that Oklahoma City could be missing one of their star players, the Los Angeles Clippers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full-game side pick. In their previous meeting, the Thunder defense proved formidable, limiting the Clippers to just 92 points. That game ended with a combined score of 197 points, falling well below the set total of 220.5 points. The Thunder's fast-paced offense ranked 6th in the league in possessions per game, with an average of 106.4, while the Clippers ranked much lower at 27th, averaging 100.7 possessions per game. If Oklahoma City's defense holds up as it did in the last game, Los Angeles could once again struggle to generate high scores. Notably, Oklahoma City has held 5 of their opponents to 95 points or fewer this season, and when their defense is effective, their offense tends to slow down, averaging 106 points in those defensive outings. Meanwhile, the Clippers have failed to surpass 110 points in each of their last 3 games. Historically, meetings between these two teams have often gone under the total, with 11 such instances already this season. In recent years, both teams would frequently adopt a fast-paced, long-range shooting style, but this season they appear more intent on building their success around strong defense. The Clippers rank 23rd in scoring offense but are notably 2nd in scoring defense, which speaks to their focus on limiting opponents rather than outscoring them. They also rank 28th in the NBA for pace, indicating they'll likely aim to keep the tempo slow. If the Thunder were entering this matchup fully rested and with a complete roster, one might expect a higher scoring game, but given the circumstances, they'll probably be inclined to favor a slower pace on the second night of back-to-back games. Oklahoma City's defense has been stellar, currently leading the league in scoring defense, field goal defense, and defensive efficiency. Given these factors, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.